Morning.
Hey Tim, thanks for bearing with us. How you doing this morning?
Good, Joel. How are you?
Good, good. Tim Anderson, managing director at TJM Investments. Well, Tim, I just gotta get your instant reaction to Super Mario.
Well, I think the central bankers love to time these announcements toward the end of the week. It was 3 weeks
Hmm.
ago that the Japanese announced their turbocharged stimulus plan. We had a very sharp rally to end that week. It looks like we're going to have certainly a similar start to the day today. It's kind of backed up a little bit by the Bank of China, saying they're going to lower interest rates to try to halt the speed of the decline in their economy. Some people might say also they're a little bit concerned about some asset price bubbles over there. But this is going to be this couldn't be timed better with a shortened market week next week with Thanksgiving, seasonally a very strong week. There's just not going to be a lot to hold the market back today.
That's an excellent point there that you made about it happening at the end of the week. I mean that's an excellent point, and it came to fruition today. So I got to ask you, Tim. I mean, wow, Spoo's up 17. I mean, are you gonna get? I mean, just anticipating nothing from your individual, customers or anything, but man, oh man, you think you're gonna see like any buy orders, or on a day like this, you got a gap opening? Maybe you talk to us about what happened when when the Japanese made their move. Do people just go with the flow here, try and buy stock? They try and take profits, or they just kind of these institutions just not letting it affect their game plan?
You'll certainly have some people taking profits. There'll certainly be some buying in the market. I mean, away from this, the market has had a fair amount of cross currents. The breadth has waned a little bit the last week or so until yesterday. But the market's got a lot of support yesterday from a number of different sectors. The home building stocks have
Mm-hmm.
acted real well for the last 4 to 6 weeks. Oil has rallied. In fact, oil is up $2 this morning. Brent crude back above 80. Oil stocks have clearly been the weakest performing sector, probably for the entire second half. That they could very easily have a pretty sharp rally. Obviously, the OPEC meeting is next Thursday, and I think a lot of people are just waiting to get through that before they make real commitments. Maybe their hands are going to be forced in before then with the rally we're having in oil this morning.
Do you,
Retailers have been acting very well. Now they've been an underperforming sector, but I mean, this morning or for yesterday, you had Dillard's, Williams Sonoma, Best Buy, all up over 7%. The other day, you had Lowe's up strong after earnings. Macy's reacted well to earnings a week and a half ago. And yesterday, you had a good move in the semiconductor stocks, which have been a laggard and had some red flags fundamentally. But Intel raised guidance for 2015, raised their dividend. Intel is now trading at its highest level since March of 2001. So there's a lot of things in the market's favor right now. You will have, if it just rips hard into the end of the year, you'll possibly have some valuation issues. You may have some bubble talk in the social media space. But today is a day to just kind of, sit back and let it go. And if you're fortunate enough to be long, take some profits and maybe hold a little bit over for next week.
okay, just looking at this XHB. This thing, well, we talked about it earlier in the week. I think Brent gave us some housing numbers, and this thing had been in the doldrums between 32
Yep.
and 32.50, and then it
Yep.
broke out. Do you get many orders in that? Do many people, many institutions? I mean, I see some volume in it. Is this something you get orders in very often?
I think that's probably an under-owned sector right now. There's been a lot of false rallies in that group. Some people have gotten burned by getting in and then not getting out and having the stocks fail on them. There's certainly some stocks that act better than others. But I think what's really going on fundamentally is you're having some positive reaction pent up from some of the mortgage requirement readjustments made by Fannie and Freddie about 6 weeks ago.
Okay.
And you don't see an immediate bump in the mortgage activity yet, but where 2 months ago we'd be getting one piece of good data, one piece of negative data, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The data was being very inconsistent. This week so far, it hasn't been crazy exuberant data, but it's been consistently positive. And it would be, it's not a huge sector for the market in terms of market cap, but it's a huge sector for the economy in terms of collateral hiring that goes on through everything that is involved in home building.
Tim,
Plumbers,
I
electricians,
know
lumber, et cetera, et cetera.
we don't get to have you on for our normal time, but we have a few minutes left. And I saw your comments on the IPO market yesterday, and we have an excellent trader in the chat that really likes to go after these IPOs. Now, do you get many orders for them? Do you have people coming out and taking looks? I mean, how do people value these things? Is this something you're active in very much?
Well, sure. They're very active. You get, both the IPOs and the secondaries. There's been a lot of traffic in them. It comes from multiple directions, anywhere from vanilla customers that are buying add-on positions, not getting the allocation they wish they had, to hedge funds that are trading around positions or maybe selling some of the allocations that they got. It's potentially not just the IPOs, but a little bit. It could develop into a red flag for the market if you were to continue to get a very, very heavy calendar. That does create competition for institutional cash that might otherwise just be buying stocks in the secondary market.
Do they give you like firm orders out there? They just say, "Man, we want to own this thing at the open, or we sell it at a specific price." Because seems to me
but they all want to know. They all want to know price, and they all have a limit at some point.
It seems like they've been a bit underpricing things a little bit as of late.
Well, I think that I think it's smart for them to do that for any company that's going to come to market with an IPO and anticipates 12 to 18 to 24 months down the road coming to market with a secondary. They want to have the people that bought that IPO have a good taste in their mouth over the way the IPO acted.
Okay.
So that they will also buy the secondary. And there's no doubt that the bankers and the syndicate professionals will go back and look at the book and see who their IPO buyers were when they come around to giving out allocations for the secondary. The other thing that I'd mention is the one thing to look out for is some of these big secondaries where the company is really not raising a lot of money, but a large portion of the secondary is insider selling. For instance, GoPro
point. Yep.
had a 10 million share secondary earlier in the week. 9 million shares of it was insider selling, half of that probably by the CEO. Now, that's clearly a stock a lot of people, it's been a crazy stock. And, it's just a little bit of a red flag. It had trouble holding that secondary price of 75. I think it closed about $1 lower.
Yeah, and actually, you read my mind there, Tim, because I was going to ask you about that. And we talk about it as it being like just a key, and this point is going to be key resistance and the support, and how it's kind of like a magnet level. But exactly what you're saying, the fact that it's trading below it, that the CEO is selling. People are saying, hey, if the CEO is selling, then hey, maybe I should be selling too. But we'll keep an eye on that $75 level. Well, Tim, sorry about the little mix up getting a hold of you, but as usual, you have provided us with great information here on what's going on in the floor. I know we're holding you back from getting your opening orders ready, so we'll let you go, and we hope to speak to you again soon.
Hey, you guys have a great weekend.